Hey guys, it's Sebastian here. Welcome to another segment of Building Your Wealth in Under 5 Minutes. Today we're going to be talking about something called the Sep IRA. Not the Roth IRA, not the traditional IRA, but something called the Sep IRA. And it's probably one of the most powerful retirement accounts that people could be using to build a massive amount of wealth and be able to write off a ton of money off of their income tax. Now, before we go ahead and get started, please don't forget to subscribe, share the video, put something in the comments section if you enjoy these videos, and again, just share this with your friends and family. The more knowledge that they have, they will be able to make better decisions with their money. Let's jump right in, guys. So let's start off with the basics. Sep IRAs are only available to self-employed individuals. If you don't have a business, if you don't own a company, you you actually will not be eligible to open up a Sep IRA. So let's say that right now you have this company, and this company, hypothetically, let's just say that it has, 20 employees, right? Or 5 employees, it doesn't really matter, and you are one of those 20 employees, right? You might own this company, right? Let's just call it XYZ company. You might be the owner of that company, and you might be paying yourself out of the 20 employees, right? You have 20 employees here, and you might be here one of these employees, and you might be paying yourself, call it $100,000 per year. You see, what ends up happening is when you have a Sep IRA, you can actually set up a retirement account where you can begin to deposit a portion of your income into this Sep IRA. And the benefit of that is the following. You could actually put into that Sep IRA up to 25% of your income is allowed to be deposited into that account. In other words, that would be, if you're making 100 grand, that would be $25,000. Now there is a maximum. The maximum that you are allowed to put in is no more than $57,000 per year. And again, it's up to a max of 25% of your income. So if you are paying yourself a salary of $100,000 a year, then the max is 25% of the $100,000, which is $25,000. But if you have a salary of $300,000, then you could put in 25% of the $300,000, and that means that now you're allowed to put in the max, which is $57,000. So what is the benefit of the Sep IRA? If you own a business and you are paying yourself a salary and you don't want to pay taxes on that salary, you can start throwing money into this Sep IRA and write it off your entire income tax. Damn! So let's say that every year you're putting in 50 grand, 50 grand, 50 grand, 50 grand into the Sep IRA, and you did that for 20 years. At the end of 20 years, you might have inside the Sep IRA, who knows, maybe $5 million after 20 years of you depositing that money in for the 20-year period. So now this is the negative side. All of that money that's in there, yes, you might have $5 million. And again, this Sep IRA will also be growing based on the investment performance that you choose within that Sep IRA. But you see, this is what's going to happen. If you have now $5 million 20 years later, 30 years later, and you now go and withdraw that money at the moment you withdraw it, 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, you will need to pay taxes on that. So I guess the benefit is by you putting money into a Sep IRA, you can write off any money that you put in. But there will come a day that in the future, when you go and withdraw that money out of the Sep IRA, you will need to pay taxes at whatever the brackets are in the future when you withdraw that money. Now, there is one really important piece about a Sep IRA that you must know. If you decide to open up a Sep IRA for yourself, you are required by law to open up a Sep IRA for the other 19 employees of the company. And you are required to also deposit money, the same percentage, into their account. So in other words, you might end up having 20 other or 19 more Sep IRAs that you will also need to put in money into that account on behalf of the employee. So if you're paying the employee $50,000 a year, then that means that if you're putting in 25% of your income into a Sep IRA, you will be required as the owner of the business to also put in 25% of the employee's income but coming out of your pocket. So coming out of your pocket, you would need to be putting in 25% of that employee's income into that Sep IRA for the employee. So I guess there is a benefit to you, but again, you need to offer that to all of your employees. So this is where you can do some strategic planning, and maybe if you don't have a lot of employees or you don't have any employees and you're self-employed entirely, then why don't you just create a Sep IRA? And if you have no employees, then you can do that independently for yourself and you can write it off your income tax entirely. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I know it was a lot of content, a lot of information, but please don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, write something in the comments section, hopefully something nice, and we'll see you here next time.